Hi everybody, I just went black screen. You know what happens when I go black screen. This means that this is some important shit we're talking about. Now, one of the biggest turn-ons for a woman is a guy who can make her submit in bed. But many guys don't know how to do this. And not only that, many guys don't understand how absolutely fundamentally crucial it is in order to do this to a woman so that way you remain masculine in her eyes and that way you have that sort of edge and swagger about you that makes her want to let you just do whatever you would like in the bedroom. This is something that most men cannot do. This is something most men don't know how to do. But this is something that every woman desires deep down, is to be able to find a man that can just put her in her place and she can just lay back and just let him do his thing. Very important. Now, how do you get her to do this in bed? What you have to realize before going into this is you have to realize most women have extremely awkward sex. Okay, I've actually had women tell me this in person before. They've said sex with most men is very, very awkward. Why is that? It's because he doesn't turn her on in a sexual way. What he's doing is he's constantly using love to try to assume that there should be sexual tension. It does not work like that. Here's the issue. The lover boy type sex where they lay there and he just tries to be all, passionate or do that with her. Deep down, the woman is going to crave a good pounding. I'll just give it to you straight. She's going to just crave getting the shit pounded out of her. And most men just don't understand this. Women want to fully submit and be dominated and quote unquote let go to a man that makes her feel small. Do you want to know why I just use the word let go? Because this is literally the word that women have told me specifically as to why they like when they have sex with me. Because they can let go. She can totally just completely feel dominated by her man and let go. This is what she wants. This is her words, not mine. So stop thinking that they're good girls. Because that same good girl that you think is a good girl will suck every last drop out of the bad boy. It just is how it is, fellas. This is female nature. Now, in order to put it down in bed, you have to be doing everything right outside of the sheets to get her to agree to let you act like that in the bedroom. You have to understand, all of this is consensual sex. We need her to consent to this. This isn't take control and make her submit and lead and be dominant without her wanting it. She has to view you like that and actually want it. Now, what does this mean? This means that her submitting in bed equals you make all the rules and you get to do whatever you want. And she wants you deep down to direct her. The issue is that most men just don't know how to do this. Now, in order to do this, you have to be doing everything right outside of the bedroom. You have to be turning her on. You have to be seducing her. You have to be flirting with her. You have to be making sure that you don't make her the center of attention at all times. All of these things are extremely key, or you're never actually going to have the sex life that you want with women. Now, what you have to do when you're in bed with her is you must be directing her at all times. You got to understand, she does not want to assume any sort of dominant masculine role. She also does not want to assume any amount of authority in the bedroom. That is part of being the submissive feminine, is she's the one who gets to have it be received. You're the one who gets to exercise your will on her. She gets to receive that will. You're the one with the authority or the power. Now, you directing her at all times means that you get to verbally and physically basically say and do what you would like. And all of these things I have in quotes, like put your ass up more, or turn around, or ride daddy harder, you getting to say all that nasty shit you see or that you think or fantasize about in the videos. This is the type of man that women crave. Women are going to crave the guy that will say all of this shit fearlessly. Women are going to crave the guy that's not awkward about this. Women are going to crave the guy that wants this lifestyle. And you can say it's bad or you wish women weren't hardwired like this. The fact is that they are. Because the masculine man that doesn't give a fuck is the guy that turns her on. You can only start to do this to women when you start to direct them in the bedroom as to what you want. Notice, it's you exercising your will. It's all about what you want. And if you make it all about what you want, that turns her on more because now she gets to follow. So here's what you got to realize. The female equals that she wants to feel small. She wants to feel powerless to her man. It's like Beauty and the Beast. The male is the complete opposite. He wants to feel like his woman looks up to him and he protects her. Okay, this is why he gets to have that authority or dominant position in bed. And in order to carry yourself like this, she has to think you're a strong dude. She has to think you're strong physically. She has to think you're strong mentally. She has to feel that you're strong emotionally. She has to look at you like a true male, a true reproductive, hardwired, badass male. And this is why the bad boy gets her best sex. It's because he has the best genes for reproduction. When you have a man who's disagreeable and strong physically and strong mentally and strong emotionally and rational, you got to realize this is the type of guy that gives her the cues in her head that says, hey, you need to fuck this guy and you need to fuck this guy good because you want his babies. This is all genetically hardwired into them. So you have to be on your game. This is why week 1 is the all-important. Okay, week 1 is the all-important week 1. If you're not on your grind, if you're not on your fucking grind in the gym 5-6 days a week, building the body, lowering the body fat, meal prepping the chicken and broccoli, making sure you're hitting your macros to a T, making sure you're training progressive overload style, making sure that your workouts are so dialed in so you're gaining strength and turning into a badass, if you're not building the business, if you're not exercising better financial power and building your career, if you're not spiritually connected and feel like you have purpose on this earth, how the fuck do you expect to do any of this shit that gets a woman's head wrapped? If you look at the number 1 best-selling novel in American history purchased by women, it is the movie 50 Shades of Grey. Okay? The movie 50 Shades of Grey is the number 1 most sold-out book of all time in America. Why is that? Because this is a woman's fantasy. A woman's fantasy is the strong, ripped business owner. If you see in the top right picture, he's strong, he's ripped, he doesn't give a fuck, he makes her do whatever, he's totally in control. There's a reason why all females watch this show and about are ready to cream themselves in their pants just by watching it. There's also a reason it's the most purchased book. It's because this is every single female's fantasy. So instead of hating female nature and dwelling on it, why don't you just accept it and be Christian Grey? Why don't you just accept it and be the guy that's able to do this with women? Because fellas, you got to realize I can't control your moral standpoint. Like, you might be the type of guy that wants to wait until marriage and all that, and that's fine. But there's a lot of men in this course that want to fuck. And there's going to be a lot of men in this course that have been cheated on by women and kind of fucked over by women, and they're salty a little bit. Now, when they get this information, a lot of people are like pissed off right away. They're like, oh man, these are a lot of hard, uncomfortable truths. But it's true. There's no amount of emotional lover boy in this man. This man is just a strict dominant dude. And that's why she's in love with him, is because he is her opposite. Now, here's what submit equals. When I use the word submit, this means that he is king and she can call him daddy. Like, when I say daddy, like, he literally is dad. He's daddy. Like, he takes control, he leads. And realize this, if you're in a relationship and you can't maintain this frame where you can wrap her head emotionally and make her calm in her mind just by thinking about you, she will crave this frame from some other man. It's just like if you're dating a really fat chick or a really ugly chick, you're still going to be craving the Victoria's Secret model. Okay? You need to make damn sure that you're doing the best that you can to be that guy. And she's going to crave it from some guy, so it might as well just be you. And that is when the shit tests come. The shit tests come, and this is when she pull backs, and this is when the girls' nights out happen, is when you fucked up. And if she doesn't view you like this, eventually you keep fucking up. She's going to pull back, and she's going to have these girls' nights out, and she's going to try to find some other dude. And, like, I hate to say it, but relationships are not so smooth like you want them to be. This is a fucking roller coaster. If you want to date a girl exclusively or marry a woman, like, my parents are divorced. I've seen many divorces. I've coached many men that have been through divorces or bad breakups. Like, it's a turmoil, which means you need to play your cards extremely right. That way it doesn't take a toll on you financially or emotionally or anything. And she oftentimes wants to be dirty, but just not with you. And if she doesn't want to be dirty with you, that means she doesn't view you like that, which means you're fucking up. And this is why women stray when they sense emotional weakness, is because all of a sudden this is not the man that they can they can't submit to this type of man anymore. He's too weak. It's biological. It's genetic. It's hardwired into them. Which means you might as well just make the changes so that way you are that guy. Because as men, To brainwash a woman, attraction is a learned skill. You just got to start doing these things correctly. Now, when a woman wants to fully submit to you, what you got to realize is you get it all. You get her best sex. You get to use lube. You get to have her swallow you. You get to use toys. She'll basically let you do whatever the fuck you want. And you get this kind of sex by being a cocky, arrogant asshole. And this is something all women love and get wet for. They get wet for the bad boy. They get wet for the cocky prick. Why? Because he's hot. He's attractive. So just make the changes so that way you get this too. This is extremely important so you don't get taken advantage of. I want to help you, and this is how you really just get her to submit fully. This is what you're going to want. This is what you're going to need. This is what every guy craves. And if you don't get this, she's going to pull back at some point. It's going to tell you something.